Hey guys, it's Chris here at Pi Supply. Today's unboxing video we're going to take a look at the Pi Crust Plus. Now the Pi Crust Plus is a breakout board for the Raspberry Pi. So what this does is allows you to break out the communication pins, so it's the I2C, UART, SPI, etc. This basically just makes life a bit easier when using sensor modules. Instead of having to connect each pin individually, you should be able to just connect the module itself directly on top of the breakout board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox it and show you what's inside, and then I'm going to assemble it and solder it up and then connect it to the Raspberry Pi. So let's take a look and see what's inside. So first up, we got some Pi Supply stickers here. We've got our Pi Crust logo. Looks pretty smart, that. We've got a welcome card from Pi Supply. This basically just has some sales information on and a web link to the website. So if you want to contact us, you can go to the website and do so. So we've got a lot of connectors here. So we've got the 40-way GPIO connector. So you'll solder this to the board. This will allow you to connect it to the Raspberry Pi. Looks like we've also got a breakout header. So either side of the PCB, you can see you've got rows of pins either side. And this will just allow you to break out those pins like so. We've also got some smaller pins, so we've got sort of a 6-way headers. Got a few of those. Some 4-pin female headers. So these will connect to the I2C and the power rails there. Yeah, that's the 7-pin, 8-pin headers. So that'll just go in the middle there. That breaks out the GPIO pins. We've got a couple of 2-pin headers as well, male and female. So this will just break out the ground and the 3-volt pins there. So on this board, obviously we've got the 40-way header. We've got 2 I2Cs breakouts. We've got ground, rail, and 5 volts. We've also got some GPIO pins broken out. So we've got sort of GPIO pins 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19 on one side. In the middle we've got, looks like 20 to 27. And then we also have the SPI 0 and SPI 1 pin headers here. And then looking at the side, we've got a UART breakout there. And we've also got 3-volt and ground as well. So first up, we're going to solder this header to the board. What this basically does, once that's connected, this will save you having to solder this on. Once you push it through, it'll just clip into the header there. So a good little tip when you're soldering is to use a bit of blue tack. This will just keep the circuit board level, so allow you to solder it nice. You can also use it to hold components in place as well. So let's go ahead and solder this header. So that's the header soldered on. So what this will allow you to do is just connect it to a header, a 40-way header, or even an extending header if you wanted to protrude it further. So all that'll do is slot in there and make connections with the pins on the top, like so. So then you'll just be able to connect this to the Raspberry Pi. So next up, let's do the UART. So we're just going to solder the rest of the headers. It's pretty straightforward from here. Make sure they obviously go on top of the board like so. As I mentioned earlier, if you use a bit of blue tack, you can just hold it in place while you solder it up. This will just keep it nice and straight. If I do it from the side. Like so, and then we'll just solder that. Now what I'm going to do is just solder on the other side as well. And now I'll just solder the remaining connectors. So what I'm going to do now is just solder the GPIO pin headers. I should be able to do this and hold them together with the same bit of blue tack, so just to speed things up a little bit. Just push that down in there. There we go. Now just solder them on the reverse side. So that's that done. We've got just a couple left now. So we've got the SPI pins left and a couple of power pins as well. So just slot them headers on there, like so. Make sure we hold them in place with some blue tack. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as it's not too much of an angle. And then we'll just solder them to the PCB. If you're not an expert solderer, don't worry about it too much. It's pretty straightforward. You know, we've all got to start somewhere. If you are struggling though, obviously if you know someone who is fairly good at soldering, then obviously you can ask them, or you can just contact your local hackspace or code club. I'm sure they'll be able to help out there. There we go. So what we're going to do now is just connect the remaining female pins. Obviously there's an option to put a male pin as well, but for this I'm just going to use both the female pins here. So we've got obviously a 3V and ground there. Just hold that in place with a bit of blue tack, like so. So I'm just going to show you, like, if you have managed to solder two together, if you got too much solder on, don't worry about it. If you've got like a sucker like this, just push it all the way down, just heat up the solder, and then just suck it off like so. And then obviously you can just apply a little bit more solder, or just resolder it like that. There we go, as easy as that. And there we have the Pi Crust Pro soldered up and ready to connect to your Raspberry Pi. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you how to connect it to the Pi. So I've got my Raspberry Pi 3B Plus here. So as mentioned earlier, obviously this is a fairly short header on here. If you wanted to, you could connect an extending header, and then you could probably stack another hat board on top, or vice versa. Yeah, so all you need to do is just connect it to the GPIO pins like so, and make sure it's pushed all the way down, and that's going to stay on there fairly firm and secure. So if you've got like some I2C modules or some sensor boards, all you do is connect them directly on there, or you could use a male to female or male to male jumper cables to connect the modules. So as you can see, we've got all the headers connected on there. So if you did add a module, you could probably directly connect it onto the board. Obviously we've got the I2C, we've got the SPI, UART, all the GPIO breakouts as well. So you'll be able to either directly connect it or use some jumper wires to connect it to your modules. So this is a pretty neat breakout board. You can also stack it as well if you had an extending stacking header as well. So that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions about the Pi Crust Pro, you can pop a comment in the box below. Or you can also go to the website at pisupply.com and find out further information about the Pi Crust Pro range of boards. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and until next time, I'll see you then.